what's good, everybody? We are coming back with another episode of Double Double. So, I think I just wanted to talk about individualism and communalism. So, just talking about like Western societies and cultures about individualism. So, you definitely are raised with a little bit more individualistic tendencies, like this all for me, me. It's never usually for the team, and that's why I don't know, in sports, we are just like, wow, these guys are doing really well. And it's so fascinating to us because, you know, everybody is just out there for themselves. All the Wall Street people, there's a lot of greed that's going on, and you can tell how these businesses are like created. You know, it's kind of messed up, but I don't know. I don't have the solution to everything, but yeah, it seems like more people are less considerate of other people, and you can definitely see that in, let's say, cars. Cars are just like little bubbles, and when people get into like, there's a lot of road rage instances. Like, hey, I'm driving here, you know, like, why don't you consider me? It's like, no, we're all trying to share the same thing. We all have places to be, but since we don't have like a robust like public transport system, it just seems that everything is just me. You know, I gotta look at my car. You know, my cars cost money. If you hurt my car, if you damage my car, like, okay, what is that gonna do to me? It's not really considering, oh, is the other person okay? There's so many other things other than me, you know. But Western societies definitely seems like it's more individualistic and less caring for other people. But yeah, and like superstars, you know, like sports superstars like Kobe and like LeBron, like it's all about, okay, look at this rising star, but usually there's a whole team behind it. But they love to highlight like specific athletes or like scholars in academia, like academics, you know, like, oh, this guy's really, really smart. We got the Einsteins and we got all these Steve Jobs, and they highlight these singular people, but it always takes a lot of like friends and teamwork and a lot of people behind them that represents their actual success, not just that one person. So yeah, definitely like very focused on yourself and not really care about anybody except yourself. But I think other cities, like if you go to New York, it seems like, yeah, nobody cares about you. But if you have like, let's say you have a suitcase and you need to get it up the stairs, those people in New York, they're gonna help you. They seem like they don't care, but it's such a more of a communal society just because of like that railway. And it's an interesting thing. But if you were to do that in like, I don't know, San Francisco, they're like, oh, you're gonna carry that suitcase up all those stairs. No one's gonna help you. And it's a crazy thing, and people are very happy if you actually help them. But it's like, it's really not that big of a deal, but they're so appreciative because it's just not an everyday thing, because everybody only thinks of themselves. So really interesting things that I saw in different cities of the US. And yeah, like cities that don't have very robust like systems, like the BART is really not that great compared to, let's say, New York. Even the DC one's pretty good, but most of those people are in their bubble, and there's just something about New York that the people like, okay, yeah, they'll help you out. And oh, this is another big one that I from traveling abroad, from this like global perspective, is school. So you're kind of just taught like, don't cheat on tests in the US, don't cheat on your exams. But it's like, don't look at my answers. I am I'm taking my test. This is for me. But it's kind of crazy because like if you go to another like a very communal country or area, they're just, oh yeah, we're solving the same problem and let's work together and find the solution together. I'm good at this thing, you're good at this thing. We can each play to our strengths and solve these problems together. So it's that was one thing that I did see in for the schooling sense. And yeah, so I did talk about there's some truth to just having like very capable people. Like some people should just know this, but it also is just always goes back. It always boils down to teamwork and having like other competent and smart people. And every like management or leadership journal that you read or paper is all centered around teamwork and getting the best of both worlds and getting the best of all your employees and people that you work with. And in sports, it's everybody has to work together, especially like soccer, American football, like any other sports. It's even team sports. They all need everybody working towards the same goal, and it's just one connected, like everybody's just an interconnected like entity, when they're all working together, and that's like the coolest thing. But everybody from like US is individualistic mostly. There are some aspects, but even from like corporations, corporate workers, it is pretty hard to like work together. Or even just like a school project, that's pretty hard to work together because everybody has this individualistic thing on how they want to do things. And it's going to take one person to just kind of be like, this is how we're going to do it. This is the method that we're going to follow. And one person kind of has to take charge to complete this project. So we can all complete the project and get an A or deliver that project to a client or whatever you have in mind. And yeah, no, there's truth to be having like capable people, having strong skill sets, but it all goes down to having good teammates and being a good team player. So and looking back at some of my experiences in South Pacific, in South America, Asian countries, even Europe, there's just more communal areas. Also, just like the size of the countries are a lot smaller, and just like the locality of houses, they are a lot closer together because you're just, depending on if it's a village setting or a small town or a city, it's still a little bit more compact and not as widespread just geographically from the US. And yeah, so there is a more communal aspect that I have seen from all of my travels around the world. And everybody does seem a little bit more comfortable in like tighter spaces. And it's it's really interesting how people in like these cars, or the New York is one of those places where it's, nobody really drives. So they are comfortable with like in tighter spaces, but in many other cities, they kind of just like, please stand away from me. I'm in my bubble, and it's an interesting thing to see that most people, like in Asia, they're just like, okay, yeah, we're all cooped up in a little elevator, or we're cooped up in a mall, and they're just used to it because like this space is just more limited, I guess. But yeah, test taking and like sharing answers and just helping each other was just a lot more common. Like it's not like a taboo to be like, oh, you can't look at my exam. They're like, we're solving the same tests, and you're gonna learn more from other people too. If your friend is learning it at a different way, they can break it down to you and they can explain it in a way that you can understand. Like, okay, the teacher has to teach it from a book because that's like the prescribed way, but if your friend like makes it funny or makes it memorable, they can teach it to you in a way that makes it easier for you to digest. So like collaboration is incredibly important for like communal learning, and I think we gotta bring that back to like the US. I think it's such a fascinating thing. Also, sports in other countries, they are like the sports that I would watch. They're very team focused and has the goal of everybody's on the same mission, on the same goal. And they're not really focused on specific athletes. And the sports that I would watch is like rugby and like rowing. And you would have like these superstars in these events or in these sports, but it's not like, oh, LeBron is out. You wouldn't even know like any of the rowers that are rowing in the Australian 8. I mean, you might know some of them, or the Kiwi 8 for rowing, but for the most part, you're just watching it, seeing these people, all these rowers in a boat representing their country or their school in one of the boat races out there, in one of the regattas. But it's, yeah, you probably don't know the people who are rowing that boat, and they just represent their team or their university. And yeah, it's not all about, there's like no ego when it comes to the sports out there, but there is some incredible performances from other people that really just naturally lets them shine in their sport. There's another one in South Pacific, the kava ceremony or village meetings, and anything that happens is just everybody gets together, whether it's like a family meeting or a village or a church meeting, everybody's there. So there's so many different aspects of their lives that just everybody comes together, everybody's hanging out, there's really no individualistic like tendencies. Everybody works together. Oh, we're building this house. Okay, we're building a house together, so it's such a cool thing to see the teamwork out in like other countries. They really just help each other out, like, oh, we caught some fish, you want some, like they're just, it's such a nice thing, such a human thing to just help other people. Oh, we have extra food, do you want some? And like in the US, it's like even the food culture in the US is interesting, where like everything's wrapped up individually for like a burger, or like burgers and fry meal kits. Those are all individual, and it makes sense for some like sanitary purposes, but it just kind of like keeps distance away from others, but if you go to like a Chinese restaurant, if you get dinner at one of those nicer Chinese restaurants with the Lazy Susan, it's all family style. They have like everything's like a shared plate, and then they have these longer chopsticks, and then you just pick and choose what you want and put it on your plate and then eat it there. So that's really interesting from like a food culture, from like Chinese restaurants to US restaurants, but that's specifically fast food. But even if you go to like a nice restaurant in the US, it's still, here's a steak for me, here's a steak for you, here's a steak for the person next to you. So there are different like the food culture is interesting. And yeah, it's so cool to see. Also, like from South Pacific, they're also very communal. You will have your own specific plate, but they'll lay out all the food in the center, and you can pick and choose, like pieces of fish or cassava, or if you want to add like salt or chilies or lemon juice to your fish, it's like, yeah, you can pick and choose. No one's gonna do it for you, but it's all there for you if you want to. And communalism is a really interesting and wonderful thing that you can experience abroad. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on some of the challenges with individualism and communalism. None of them is like a perfect solution. You are gonna have to find a blend between both of them, because sometimes you do need a little bit of like a me time, but also you do want to help out your friends and other strangers too. Like, oh, if this person needs help, go ahead and help them. We are all human beings, and yeah, just just help them out. And yeah, no, it's just we got cut off a little, ran out of storage, but it's all good. We're about to just wrap up this episode with, just other countries that are a little bit more communal. It's different from like growing up in the US, where it's very individualistic, so it's really nice to see such a welcoming and nice people of other countries in the world. So when you're traveling abroad, definitely, hang out with some people, hang out with the locals, learn what they're doing, be nice to them, and you can learn some really cool things and enjoy some of the communalism in other countries. And yeah, it's such an awesome thing to work together, and you can use that for your sport or for your work or for anything, actually. So it's really great to learn from other countries and their communal tendencies. But yeah, anything that was cool, like music, bands, they have to work with people, and they have to work with producers and equipment people, and there's so many other aspects that goes into music. Work with different teachers, work with other bands, collaborations. So that's pretty. Music is cool, bands are cool. You got to work together to have a successful band. And movies are cool, but there's a whole like production and production crew, the video people, the sound people, the gear people. There's so many different things, and costumes and wardrobe and makeup, and lots of things to consider. And it's all communalism and working together. Sports, that one's pretty easy. You got coaches and dietitians, gear managers, and people setting up the stadium, people selling the merch for you. So sports is the easy one. And car companies, cars, people need engineers, designers. You have all this equipment to test the cars, every aspect of a car, materials, paint, and there's a lot of things. So that's just wanted to touch on the importance of communalism and getting inspiration from other countries. And it's not all about you and all the individualism that is very prominent in the US or in more Western societies. Definitely venture out, and that's why I think a lot of like people from the US love going to other countries like Europe and South America, because everybody's so nice and they are so inviting, and they really enjoy that communalism. So if you can bring a little communalism to your communities and your friends and invite people, I think it's a cool thing. So that's it for the Double podcast that I have planned, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the other podcast episodes I have. And we have the social medias and stuff below, so thanks again.